Hey folks, so I decided to post this video, this DIY stormwater management project, drainage system, whatever you want to call it, because it was a success. My dad and I, we kind of went into it slightly unsure if it was going to work. I mean, theoretically, our calculations and kind of our measurements made sense, but you know, you start putting kind of this stuff together in real life and doesn't always turn out the way you want it to, or you run into some issues that you didn't really foresee. But because it was a success, because the system works, all like the little snippets that I took as the project went on are gonna be posted in this video. It's a little choppy, but the idea is just to kind of maybe convince anyone who's watching this that it is possible to do it on your own. You know, we talked around with some neighbors. They had to pay up to $3,000 or $4,000 per lot just to get, you know, some drainage system. And I mean, hey, it works, but so does ours. So, and we did it at a fraction of a cost with materials that we already had. And the only thing that you're gonna really find that you may or may not have is just closed conduit pipes and perforated pipes with a sock that kind of sucks in the water and transports it to where we need it to. But hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a comment if you feel like you're doing a kind of project like this. Maybe maybe I missed something making this video. Maybe there's some questions. Hope it helps you, and if you aren't doing anything like this, you know, it's a pretty interesting little project. So hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the issue is our house here. Those are the stairs that you probably saw in my previous video if you did watch it. But the issue is where I live, we get a lot of thunderstorms. It brings a lot of intense rain very quickly, and so what happens is all this water starts to pool up and it gets into our garden here, and you can even see the outline right here of where the rain starts to pool up and we get floods, and it just takes a lot of time for it to dry out, and our sump pump at home just is overloaded and overworked, and it could lead to bad flooding and a lot of damages. So the idea here is that our house, like I said, is right here, and what we want to do is we want to collect the water all the way into this little intermittent kind of storage, rainwater storage area. Now, the way that's going to be done is we've got perforated pipe right here. It's got some holes in it, and then over top of it is like a sleeve or like a sock that prevents sand and rocks and any dirt from getting into it. And the idea is to place it along here, which kind of leads away from the main stairs and the main entrance of the house to reduce this pooling here. And then in the back here, when we enter kind of the garden area, also the same type of pipe for to reduce the pooling there, because you know it also pools up a lot of water, and you were usually walking around in a puddle for about 2 or 3 days after even a minor thunderstorm. So perforated pipe, it comes into here where it has a chance to fill up, so kind of act like as a buffer zone before rushing all the way into this pipe here, which runs along the front of it runs in the back of it from here, runs along the side of the house and out in the front, which is just a hard pipe. It's all covered. There's no holes in it. I believe it's just PVC pipe, but on that it runs for about 40 to 45 meters along there. So we got our pipe going here, and now we're just creating a place for all the water to drain out to, and then eventually it'll just slowly make its way down into the main sewers. After the heavy stuff, the more sturdy kind of pieces of blocks of concrete were put in. Over top we put in 3/4 inch coarse aggregate, and that's just going to act as a filler to fill in all the voids that we couldn't get with the bigger pieces, as well as add stability. After the aggregate was put in there for drainage, we just started to backfill with the topsoil that we had dug out, and then that's just going to be the process now towards the end of the whole entire length of the pipe, just backfilling with what we had dug up. And like I was saying before, this is about 40 meters of pipe. It goes there and around behind the fence there. So 40 meters at about a gradient of 1.5%, in some cases 2, but we can really get more than 2%. So average about 1.5% gradient all the way to end of pipe there. So as a recap here, the idea is pretty straightforward. We've got pooling all in this area right here, and it usually comes out into all the way here, and we want to reduce that by putting in a storm water management system. The idea is to have perforated pipe down this link and down this link here. It meets up here, it pulls up in this barrel. It's just a plastic barrel that we cut out. We dug it about a meter or so deep. We were thinking of putting in some concrete or something down below to kind of have it like as a closed system, but honestly it doesn't make any sense because this whole soil, at least in this region, is just pretty much all clay, so it doesn't really allow water to seep down, and you can even probably see that there's water pooling in the barrel already. Have this barrel as a link, or like as a connection between all the links for the perforated pipe, and then it connects into this long closed pipe and leads out all the way into the front of the house, where it ultimately leads into the main storm sewers. So this kind of gives a different angle at the whole entire project. Again, the pooling was occurring right here, and we just recently had a big rain event, but as you can see, I'm wearing my slippers and it's all dry here, and it's honestly, it's thanks to the system right here. So here's the 3/4 inch aggregate. So I don't know, it's approximately about a foot down here, and it's covering this perforated pipe here. You can see the sockets prevents any small sediment and sand and dirt getting into the actual pipe itself, and then the pipe has holes. So that's just covered up with a nice thin layer of that. And then before placing the topsoil, which is just along here, we're just gonna shovel it back into here. We also planted, or just put a thin layer of this woody kind of debris that will hopefully, our idea is that it'll hopefully won't allow for the topsoil to just kind of seep through the rocks and keep it there. Now, the way that we are finishing the project, the way that we're finishing covering this this length here, is we're putting it into a little like a hemisphere kind of parabola shape, and the idea here is that we're just allowing kind of, you know, Mother Nature, weather, to slowly flatten and compact it rather than going in there with mechanical instruments or tools, or just by force having to compact it ourselves. So we thought we'd just give it some time, let it do its thing, and finish up. So that's the system as the whole.